one of the things we've come to believe is that at whatever stage you are with your startup, you should treat your product as completely finished. And whenever you're pitching it, whenever you're doing marketing, you should really approach it with this belief that your product is finished.
Yeah, welcome to the 4th episode of Startup Life. It's a show where Joel and I discuss several things about learnings that we've had throughout our startup, different life routines we developed. And today, topic, simple as that, treat it as finished. How do we learn this concept? How do we come up with it in the first place? If you think back, when was that?
Yeah, I think for me it involved some of the experience with my previous startup. So before Buffer, I worked on a startup for 1.5 years. And I think one of the key mistakes I made during that time was actually we would always wait. We would be like, okay, we need this feature, we need this, before we can do like the big marketing push. And I think it was related to the idea of there being like one big launch, one big splash.
When the product is finished, one big moment, like
exactly.
When it's in this perfect shape.
Yeah, and I think then with Buffer early on, we talked about this, and we instead, one of the approaches we've taken is to like stretch and spread out the marketing, right? That it's kind of happening all the time.
Yeah. It's interesting with Buffer. I think it was. So I came on board. I did marketing. Like I didn't know what marketing was, but I learned it. And tried my best to learn it as quickly as possible. And it's very easy for the marketing person just to wait. So to wait for, I was like, Joel, when is this finished? Oh, it needs to be this and this and this. And at some point we just sat down and we said, today's Wednesday. This is what we have. Let's market this. Let's get press. Let's write a blog post about this. Let's do it. Like it's finished, right? It's no matter what. I think that's it definitely helped a lot, and it made us more sane, right? It made us feel better.
Yeah.
It made us feel.
Yeah, I think one of the most interesting things is that there's this mantra around startups, right? That you should put it out there so early that you're embarrassed about your product because it's that early and it's got bugs and it doesn't look great, and like that's a really good philosophy.
The Reid Hoffman quote.
Yeah, the Reid Hoffman. You should be embarrassed by the first version of your product.
Yeah.
And also like the Eric Ries having like the minimum viable product, that kind of stuff, right? And it's kind of like there's this like conflict between that approach and then doing marketing early.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things we tried to do early on when we sat down and we had this conversation was like to try and do both these things, because we realized early on, when I launched it, we had people using it on a daily basis, like straight away. We had people that started paying for it, and so we knew that people found this valuable. We knew that people, really loved Buffer.
Yeah.
So, when we thought about that, we realized actually
Don't need to wait.
There's a few hundred people that already love this, and already telling us, and already find it useful, and there must be so many more people out there that will also find it useful.
Without the product being improved even.
Exactly.
Right? So
the product in its current state, it is finished for these set of people.
Yeah. I think that was a great logic for us, to say, okay, we don't need to polish this that much further to feel good about it. But it's okay. It's shitty. We know we are embarrassed, but at the same time we're also proud. Like it's this conflict. We're proud and embarrassed at the same time. And you feel good, and you market it, and you shout about it, and you're with confidence.
Yeah. And you do keep improving it.
Yeah, of course. You iterate on it, and you.
But it's this kind of being comfortable with it in its current form enough to go and market it, and the thing is, if you do an interview, for example, that's the key one, right? Say you're on a Skype interview with a reporter, you've got to show them that you really believe in this. You can't express doubts, right?
Yeah, and often people tend to say, and we will do this in the future, we will do this, and we will build this and build that, and then it will be a great product, and then it will be amazing. And that kind of, makes you run after. It makes you always chase this moment. And every time you add something, you're like, oh, and then when we have this, and then you go there, and then you say, oh, but we also still need this. And that's what really makes you have these doubts all the time.
Yeah.
So treat it as finished. Whatever you have right now, tomorrow, your product is finished.
Yeah, absolutely. So is that an approach you're taking right now? Is that something that you think can help? It would be cool to hear your thoughts on this as well.